Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sunday night. I'm Stan Houston. This is the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. And on a late Sunday afternoon, early Sunday evening, perhaps flowing into the Monday Meets the Marketplace, we'd just like to take a few minutes to get ready to start the week and to do it well. And that's hopefully what we can do as we think about a few things tonight. So if you'll join me, I'd like to talk about, again, helping those young people who are looking for a job, or a friend that you know is looking for a job. And as May approaches, a lot of young men and women will be out there trying to find their first job, and we have a way to help them. And then there's something that we need to remember. And that is that there are certain things that we shouldn't pass on. You've heard about pass it forward, pay it forward, pass it on. Well, perhaps we ought to learn that as entrepreneurs and as Christian entrepreneurs, that there are some things we probably should change before we do pass it on. Again, I'm Stan Houston. This is the Christian Entrepreneur Network, and our little meditation and musings begins right now.
He careth for you. He careth for you. When the worries and cares of your life seem to block out the rays of His light, never forget, never lose sight, for He careth for you, for He careth for you.
And indeed, as our pastor reminded us today, that no matter what happens to us, even though we are wondering what is going to happen to us, just as the disciples were wondering and wearying and what's going to happen now, Jesus shows up and He says, "Peace be with you. Peace be with you." And so that's kind of our message for the moment today. Let me tell you a little bit about what we would like to think about, and that is, again, last week we did an entire series of programs. Now, it was a program that I actually did about 3 years ago as an experiment for a major online education format. We did it under the brand name, the Changemaker Connection. And it did quite well, but it needs to be like everything. It needs to be revised. And so we're going to be revising it. And it at least the 7 things that you need to know to get your first job that you probably don't know. And if you go through the 10 short lessons, you'll discover that indeed there are things that have changed, and that a lot of what people are teaching you and have taught you about getting that job is probably not true today. And so that's why we, as our service, have put that out for your thought, reflection, and recommendations as to how we can make it better. So please, if you would like, go to our stuff and I'll tell you exactly where it's at. So radioedge77@gmail.com, radioedge77@gmail.com. And we'll actually send you the link, and you can watch and pass on to other people these 7 things, plus many more, that you need to know to get your first job today that you probably don't know. And I really believe it'll be very helpful to you and to those you care about. Again, radioedge77@gmail.com. And just as I was putting that out, a young man put out a little blast that he put out about his own life. And it was so appropriate because he then talks about finding a job. And his name is Tim Denning. And I found it very helpful in the fact that he really affirms how hard it can be to find a first job, and that you have to do it quite differently, and you have to be prepared for rejection and failure. And then he says exactly what I said that most people don't know, and that is, it is in being a storyteller. That's right. It is in telling your story, telling a story, and being able to perform and use the modern media that will be your best way to get a job today. And that's, again, part of the lessons that I was saying out there. Throw away your resume and tell your story. So once again, if you'd like to know more about that, radioedge77@gmail.com. And then if I can just add a little touch to that, he then talks about the 7 failures. And he points out that oftentimes that's exactly what's going to happen to you. As you seek your first job, it'll be how do you deal with the 7 failures that'll probably happen to you. And that got me thinking, because at the Christian Entrepreneur Network, we talk about the number 7 a lot, and he said 7 failures. And I remember from the story, hey, and then I remembered my own story. Stan, have you had 7 failures in your entrepreneurial career? For sure. A lot of them. And so I made a little list of the things that I had failed at. And you know what? I've got at least 7. But what I did is I then said, and what did I learn from each of those failures? And then I thought of the story that we had last week at Easter time, particularly, who was the lady who got it right? Who was the first one who saw the risen Lord Jesus? An incredible woman, Mary Magdalene, truly one of the heroes of the Christian story, tradition, and movement. And it said that Jesus cast out 7 demons. And I thought about that. 7 failures. 7 demons. And it's always been said in some circles, well, we all have our own little demons, don't we? Those things that aggravate us, maybe even hurt us and destroy us in their worst factors and factions. And I thought about, what are some of the demons that I have to deal with? Sometimes it's really hard for me to deal with forgiving other people. Is that one of the demons that plagues me? Those people who've really been tough to me? Is that one of my demons? What's the fear that is kind of demonizing me? And so I thought about 7 failures. What can I learn? 7 demons, and how can I, as I experience the presence and the power of Jesus? Now you got that? That's why we call it the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience, because he creates new things. His presence and his power. What demons do I need to think about and perhaps even cast out? And then 7 again, as I have demonstrated, and obviously I keep telling you about it, the little booklet, the little 37-page booklet. Stephen Covey had his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It was around 330 pages. Ours is a little over 30. And it's called Fully Alive, the prayer and the 7 power principles for the Christian entrepreneur, so they can be fully alive, build a great business, and make their mark in the marketplace. And that little book is free. So again, go to tcenglobal.org, tcenglobal.org. You can download the book, and it's yours for free. And we'd be grateful if you take that opportunity to learn from our 7 power principles. And I think you'll find them helpful and useful. And if you want to make a recommendation or a contribution, tcenglobal.org/contribute now. tcenglobal.org/contribute now. And deepest thanks to David, who made a very generous and wonderful contribution to the work we do. And if you could help us do that, we would be more than grateful. That's that. Hey, look at the videos about how to help yourself and help others get their first job, maybe a better job. And then, as you'll discover, we talk about creating the best job, and that is to find out what it's like to live as a Christian entrepreneur. Think about that. Take a few moments to do that. And just in a few minutes, let me ask you to remember something about not passing on. I'm Stan Houston. This is the Christian Entrepreneur Network, the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. We'll be right back.
Day by day, day by day. Oh, dear Lord, 3 things I pray. To see Thee more clearly, love Thee more dearly, follow Thee more nearly, day by day.
Indeed. That's a little bit of our theme, How do we follow Jesus so that we can see Him more clearly, follow Him more nearly and love Him more dearly, because that's the deal. Easter is not just a day. In the Christian calendar, there is the second Sunday of Easter, and the third Sunday, and the fourth Sunday of Easter. It's meant to be a season of renewal and regeneration. This is where we don't just celebrate Jesus' resurrection. We seek our own resurrection, our own dying to self and dying to the bad things and some of the bad habits, and having new beginnings, new resurrections, new renewal in our life. And this is a lesson I have to work hard on. And that's, how do we forgive? There are people who betrayed us, people who've done bad things to us. Forgiving is hard. And sometimes it's not a person, it's just, as one of my dear mentors said, sometimes you just have to forgive reality. Just forgive the way the world is. No one did it, it's just the way things happen, Just as yesterday I was plagued with some things that happened in life that no one's to blame for, but oh my goodness. Kind of scary, kind of frightening, and obviously you figure out, how am I going to get through it? Forgive reality, because all of us dwell with deep pain. Every last person listening to this program is dealing with some pain, including me and including you. And here's the message of Easter that I'm learning, and what is a message for every entrepreneur, because you will be hurt, you will be betrayed, you will be pained. There's really just about one thing you can do with pain that is any good, and that's to forgive it, and that is to seek to learn from it and be transformed. Here we go. If you don't have your pain forgiven or use it to transform you, you will probably pass it on. Pain that is not released, pain that is not forgiven, pain that doesn't change you for the better, you'll probably pass it on. You will pass on pain and anger and all of that stuff to others. And actually, do you want to know why the world is in such deep difficulty? Because the world is full of people who have and continue to pass on their own pain to others. Oftentimes I say, as a Christian entrepreneur, break the cycle. Break the bad stuff that's going around. Stop it. Forgive it. Forget it. Press on toward new things. So may I just encourage you, don't pass that on. If pain were water, the world would drown. It's everywhere, and everybody has it, and some people are up to their neck in it, and some people are up to their eyes in it, and some people are drowning in it. See if it can be forgiven, forgotten, be used to transform you, because if you pass it on, it just keeps going. And unfortunately, when you pass it on, you still have it. Just let that sit on your head for a while. I'm Stan Houston. This is the Christian Entrepreneur Network. This is the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. We'll be back. We'll be back so that we can just give you one other word of encouragement. One of the things we're doing is helping people around the world do exactly what I'm doing. We are helping people become those kind of creative people who will use exactly the modern media of what I call IPOD radio broadcasting or podcasting. iPod means individual, personal, on demand. That's what the term actually meant. You can be an individual, and you can be very personal and do an on-demand radio broadcast, and you can use it to build your business and to make your mark. Because here's what will happen. If you become a podcaster, if you become someone who is trying to do what I do, and everybody should try it. First of all, you will become better at learning and speaking and broadcasting. And because you are learning, speaking, and broadcasting, you will grow in ideas. You will have many more new ideas. You will have greater influence. You'll have greater impact. And you will increase your income. Now, that income may not be money. It could be just will come to your life. All kinds of other good things. Income is not just money. Income is the things that you attract that are good, that come into your life because of who you are and what you do and how you speak and how you serve and how you treat others. But you will increase your good income. So do you want, going forward, more great ideas, more influence, greater impact, and greater income? We can help you. I'm Stan Houston. This is the Christian Entrepreneur Network, tcenglobe.org/contribute now. And we would be grateful if you'd stick and stay in touch and stay tuned, because together we can change our world. And who knows, in changing our world, we might even change a significant part of the world. All the best and blessings to you on this Sunday night, Monday morning. I look forward to next time. Again, may it go well with you. May you have deep joy, and may you, as the good Lord said, hey, peace be with you. Bye for now.